guys, we're gonna get started with the last bag. Not all of these items are gonna go in the bag. I'll explain why. It's very, very important. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about a few items first. The first one I'm gonna talk about is your first aid supplies. This is a universal supply, so this can stay out from the beginning of the test all the way to the end, which is your nail tip. For your first aid, before I forget, you can create it like a blood exposure bag, or you can actually buy a little kit. You don't need a big one, just a tiny one, and that'll work too. Your water bottle is also universal as well. Make sure it is labeled and you don't have your name on it. You can use colored ones, it's cool. Hand sanitizer. So this is universal. You can use a pump or you can use one that you squirt. I like the pumps better for state board just because it's an easier motion to pump. However, this is pretty big, so I would suggest getting a pump in a smaller size. So I'm going to use a small size for packing. Another thing that's going to be universal is your barbicide. So you can use barbicide wipes. Wipes are going to be the best. If you have wipes, you don't have those paper towels. However, if you have paper towels, they can be used with Client 2 to help you out. If you're using the paper towels, that means you are using the barbicide spray. Now, you want to make sure that you have the manufacturer's label. You cannot print off the labels anymore and put them on bottles. You actually have to use barbicide. Especially with COVID-19 going on, they're going to be pretty strict on this, you guys, so make sure you do it. We used to use the printed labels, but all of my students were getting docked points, so do make sure you do that. All right, so as far as these things that you can leave out, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. We're going to get started with our bag packing. So I use the big bag for this one. I just like to make sure I can get everything in here very neatly and it's not too crammed. So the first thing we're going to start with is the draping with our packing. So you're going to be using your styling cape. So for this one, we're not looking for chemical cape, more of a styling cape. And you're going to have about 3 towels with that one. You'll put one underneath the cape, one on the table, and then you'll want to keep a towel for the hair cutting portion just to make sure if it's dripping water that you can clean that up. If they see water on your station or on the floor during the haircut, it can be considered as unsafe, therefore they can mark off points. So the next thing I'm going to put in here, then I'm going to go ahead and put in my first aid supplies. I'll need that out. I'm going to leave my hand sanitizer out. Okay, I'm not going to pack that yet, so leaving out. I'm going to go ahead and put in the bigger items along with this. So we do have our curling iron. For your curling iron, I go ahead and label them just so they have it labeled. Go ahead and untangle the cords. You do have 15 minutes to set up at state board, but you don't want to be using those 15 minutes dealing with this. So go ahead and take the cord and do this little back and forth motion. I do not know what it's called. And go ahead and kind of like do a little bit of a tie with it, so this way it's nice and neat. And then you're not going to be stepping all over the cord at state board. It's going to be just enough length for you to use it, and you don't have this cord coming behind you, around you, and being a hazard. So after you do that, you can go ahead and do it the rest of the way, or you can actually wrap it around. It is up to you on how you want to pack it. So I'm just going to do a wrap, and then I'm going to lay what I did like that. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my bag. So the reason I like these bags is because it fits perfectly in there. So the next thing I'm going to put in there is I'm going to go ahead and put in my combs. I'm going to need 2 tail combs. This is going to be for the thermal curling, and then I'm going to need 2 cutting combs. So these are what cutting combs look like, and these are tail combs. If you are cutting hair and you need help dividing, you can use this to help you divide, but you need to use this comb. They can mark off points. Cutting comb, styling comb, tail comb. Know the difference. All right, so I'm going to put this in the bag. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a hairbrush. You may need 1 brush, so I'm going to place that in the bag. I'm going to need some clips, at least 5, because you know you need 5 clips for the haircut. So I did 6. This way, if I drop a clip, I got an extra one. So speaking of the haircut, you have two options. You can put your entire kit, make sure you have it labeled that it's clean shears and razor, or you can put them in their own plastic bag and you can take it out when you get there and set up. I like this version just because it's just less stuff in the bag, less stuff in my kit that I'm bringing. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way. So here's a tip and also some things you need. So you do need some end papers, and you also need these duckbill clips, because you're gonna have to clip the bottoms of the thermal curls, and you're gonna have to test your curling iron before you do the thermal curl, even though it's not plugged in. So if you put your clips along the end papers like this, it's gonna help keep it nice and neat. So when you pull it out of the bag, they're gonna be really nice and they're not gonna be crumbled and flying everywhere. Because remember, anything on the floor is considered, you know, dirty now. Go ahead and take your mannequin stand. Now, I'm going to talk about the tables real quick. The tables at State Board are going to be lower than this one. So you may want to find a mannequin stand that has an extender on it if you are really tall. I know I was actually on my knees for part of State Board. So I'm going to place that there. The next thing I'm going to go and put in my bag is my water bottle. So make sure that you have it completely twisted to where it's not going to spray. And you can place that in your bag. Awesome. Once again, keeping the hand sanitizer out, keeping my bags out, and keeping my barbicide out. Keeping my mannequin out. One other thing that I have kept out is a broom and a brush. Now you can find one of these handheld ones at the Dollar Tree or Walmart or anything like that. One thing you do want to know is State Board, they said that they're going to have a broom for you guys there. In the past, some of my students were provided one and some weren't. If they weren't provided a broom, they had to pick their own hair up. So I say bring one just in case. It can't really fit in the bag, but we're going to put it beside it in the kit. Alright, so once you have everything in, you can go ahead and zip it up. And this is the last bag that I'm putting in my kit. So this should be the bag that's actually on top. So when I open my kit, this should be the first bag that I see. Go ahead and slide that in there. Alright, so once everything's in, then I'm going to worry about these other items. I'm going to go ahead and put my broom and dustpan in. I'm going to go ahead and put my barbicide wipes, or your spray, and your paper towels. I am going to put my trash bags in there. Before I put these in, with the trash bags, go ahead and line them with plastic. Tape the plastic high enough to where you can see the label. You need soiled linens, items to be disinfected, and trash. And you want these because they pop up and you won't have to touch them. So I'm going to go ahead and slide those in. Alright, so that's in there. And then the last thing I'm going to put in is my hand sanitizer. Now, since this is such a big bag, I don't want to put my hand sanitizer on top and it slide all the way down, and when I get to State Board, I'm looking for it. If you're using a suitcase, put this in the top pocket of your suitcase. If you're using a duffel, go ahead and zip up your duffel. And you can place it in the side pocket if you would like. Or you can also place it in the front pocket. So just to kind of make this like a suitcase, I'm going to place it in the front pocket. And I'm going to zip this one up. Now let's talk about this mannequin for a second. When it comes to preparing for State Board, you need to prepare your mannequin as well. Your mannequin needs to already be in a perfect 90-degree haircut. So you know it has a little bit of that mullet look, go ahead and shape it up. With your haircut, you want to make sure that you have it at least 7 inches long. The reason is because State Board is looking for 1 inch on the floor, right? So let's say, okay, 1 inch is probably there, but still. Let's say if you got 7 inches and your comb ends right here. You can use that length of your comb to cross-check your haircut the whole time. So thermal curl, go ahead, do your haircut, make it 90 degree, perfect. Then for your thermal curl, go ahead and take some gel or some mousse and put in 2 rollers on the side, 2 rollers on top. This is going to set your mannequin for state board. Now, on the way to state board, you are going to take out the rods and you will brush her out. Now, it's okay. Let's see. She's a little damp, so I'm going to leave her just so I have her for demonstration. It's okay if there's a little bit of a wave, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to walk into state board with these on. It could be considered cheating, even though this is what everybody does. You just don't want to do that. So when you get done with your thermal curls, this is exactly what they should look like. This is why we do it with rods first. So once again, 2 on the top and 2 on the sides. So when you go to state board, you can hold your mannequin and you can grab your kits and you are ready to go. Good luck, you guys.